Perhaps I've been a little bit overly harsh with Canucks because, and I wanted to wait until all the votes have been counted. And it looks like that has happened now, or at least 99.4% of the votes have been counted. And that other 0.1% could actually change this. But Canada being such a small population, it's unlikely. But it looks like more, well, I should say that the Conservatives have actually won the popular vote. And this is just deja vu all over again. Look at this. This election is going to prove some big Darwinistic type of things. This election is going to prove, and I'm an independent. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a green. I'm not a communist. I'm not a fascist. None of that. This election is going to prove that people on the right are a lot more genetically superior minded, much more civilized than people on the left. I'm not saying that I'm against rioting or anything. If you feel the government is literally coming down on you, but when you riot, when you don't get your way, that's a whole different thing. You don't get respect from me for that. It is now almost 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and all now you haven't heard one report of any rioting, of any looting, of anyone smashing up the place, of Toronto being smashed up, burnt up, tore up by anyone on the right. Now, this is the same situation that happened in 2016. Donald Trump won the election without winning the popular vote. And it looks like Justin the tacky-headed, tar-faced, swift-foot Mac Daddy Trudeau has been reelected with a minority without winning the popular vote. Now, that doesn't mean anything. He still has his little bitch Jagmeet Singh, that Uncle Tom, that coon, that fraud who went on television crying about how Trudeau in blackface made him so hurtful, and now Jagmeet's literally about to go down on his knees and beg the Mac Daddy to be a part of a government coalition, whatever the consequences may be. That's the type of person Jagmeet is. I used to have respect for him, but this election has shown me that he's nothing but an Uncle Tom. He's nothing but a coon. He's nothing but Trudeau's bitch. But Trump won without the popular vote, and now Trudeau's won without the popular vote, and you haven't heard any rioting, unlike in 2016 when the left literally tore down America. They tore up Washington, D.C., they tore up New York City, they tore up Portland, Oregon. They started screaming on live television. They started acting like they lost their minds. I mean, it's literally like a bunch of people got escaped from a mental asylum and just started tearing up the place. It was worse than if, all the mental asylums and prisons in America, all the people in all the prisons and mental institutions in America just escaped and started causing havoc. You're not seeing that in Canada. But it's the same situation. The Conservatives won the most votes, albeit by only 1 million votes, or by a few thousand votes, 1 percentage point, but they still did, and Matt Daddy won. Now, as I said, I don't mean anything because he still has his little lackey, Jagmeet Singh, who's going to vote for him on everything. That's how the NDP are. But still, the Conservatives, why aren't the Conservatives rioting? Why aren't the Conservatives fighting up each other like dogs in the night? Why aren't the Conservatives smashing up the list? Because it looks like people on the right are genetically, spiritually more superior, more civilized, more temperate, more intelligent, and even more pleasant than people on the left. People on the left, I'm starting to believe leftism is a mental disorder. I mean, Look at what the modern left believe, and I'm not talking about global. I'm not talking about Gaddafi leftism or Putin leftism or Duterte leftism. Well, Putin's on the right. Duterte leftism or things like that. Or I'm talking about modern Western leftism. What do they believe in? They believe that there are more than two genders. They believe that they're going to die in the next year if we don't carbon tax everybody. I mean, what else? They believe in bestiality almost. I'm wondering when they're. I mean, look, just a few years ago, Canada Supreme Court legalized bestiality. They believe in all sorts of crazy stuff. The list is too long to even explain. But that's modern leftism, so it's a mental disorder. And when these kind of people who believe in these weird things don't get their way, they're going to tear up the place because they're mentally ill. They're genetically inferior. They're genetically wasted. That's the kind of people they are. It's a Darwinistic theory. There's no peep of any looting in Canada. I hate the Mac Daddy like the devil himself. I'm not going to go right now. I'm going to go to work. I start work at 1 o'clock. I'm not going to riot. I'm not going to tear up one shop. I'm not going to burn anything. I'm not going to burn. The only thing I'm going to burn is an omelet and some bacon and maybe some grilled cheese on that stove over there. I'm not going to do any of that because I got a job. I've got a life. There's better things. I mean, first of all, I've said this before. The Canadian government does not control anything. It's the provinces. Okay? It's the provinces. It's Doug Ford. It's Jason Kenney. It's Francois Legault. It's Blaine Higgins. It's Scott Moe. The provinces are more powerful than the government. The provinces are doing their own thing. The provinces are in charge of healthcare. The provinces are in charge of education. The provinces are in charge of transportation. The provinces are in charge of reconciliation. The provinces are in charge of crime. The provinces are in charge of cleaning up the garbage. The provinces are in charge of cleaning up our waters. It's the provinces. The federal government can tell the provinces to do something, and the provinces can say, go to hell. Up yours, Matt Daddy. They have the notwithstanding clause. The notwithstanding clause says, look, it's a great part of the Constitution which tells the federal government to go to hell and eat dirt. Doug Ford has used it. Francois Legault looks like he's going to use it. The Mac Daddy says he's going to stop Quebec. He might stop Quebec from enacting Bill 21, which says that people can't wear religious symbols while working, which I agree with. Christians get arrested, or not arrested, Christians get fired on a regular basis for saying Merry Christmas at their job. So why can't we do these religious laws equally? So if you come to work with a wrapping on your head, you should be allowed to get fired as well, just like Christians do. But the provinces are more powerful, so I know that the Mac Daddy can't do much. The only thing he can do is raise carbon taxes and start wars. Really, that's all he can do. He can't dictate the provinces do anything. Doug Ford can tell them to go to hell and suck my dick. Sorry for the vulgarity, but I'm just saying that's it. The country's not doomed. Nothing is doomed. I do support Western separation, just like I support Quebec separation, just like I support Ontario separation. Because Canucks as a whole don't know how to run a nation. It's just a fact. If there was no notwithstanding clause, this country would be a dump a long time ago. Forget today, forget tonight, forget this morning. The country would have been a dump a long time ago. It would have been a third world nation a long time ago. The provinces aren't going to let that happen because we've got Francois Legault, we've got my man Doug Ford, we've got Scott Moe, we've got Jason Kenney, and Blaine Higgins, and Brian Pallister. Those guys aren't gonna allow the Mac Daddy to turn this country into a dump. No way, no how. The only thing that's going to happen is Canada's going to look more stupid and foolish on the international scene because the Mac Daddy is such an idiot. People are going to continue to ignore him in the G7 and the G20. Nobody respects him. Donald Trump this morning wrote congratulations to Justin Trudeau, but that's because Donald Trump knows he's about to see a boatload of of Canadian jobs and Canadian wealth going down to America because the Mac Daddy and Jagmeet, the Cooney Uncle Tom Singh, doesn't know how to run an economy. And that's another thing the Liberals can do. That's the one thing that I am worried about. They can raise the carbon tax even more. They can bring in more legislation. And the provinces really can't do anything because that's the government taking taxes for itself. The provinces can't stop the government from taking away taxes for itself. So the businesses will run away from the West and run away from the provinces, and then that's just what's going to happen. They'll go to America. So Trump is very happy. He's delighted, and I say amen to him. Why should I blame him? But yeah, the conservatives won the most votes, so maybe I was a little bit harsh on Canucks. Maybe there are a lot of Canucks who are tired of being pimped out, who are tired of living with a pimp, who are tired of being prostitutes, who are tired of being abused, who don't give second chances. But again, I did make a video which says suburban Uncle Toms, racist white liberals, and rich, snobbish minorities will put Justin Ataki and Mac Daddy Trudeau back in power. It's as simple as that. Hey, listen, some of y'all look at me and you just see a dumb, fat black man. I have been more right about a lot more things than anyone on The Rebel, anyone on Fox News, anyone in all of these places. I'm right. You want to know what's going to happen? You come to me. Because I know about human psychology. I know how the world works. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I have basic common sense, That's just how it is. You want to see what's happening in the future, you come to me. I mean, I'm not going to tell you the conservatives are going to win if I don't think they're going to win. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you Canucks aren't ready. It's hard for prostitutes to leave their pimp, their Mac Daddy. It's hard. But a lot of them did, apparently. Just not enough of them. But I did say that suburban Uncle Toms, so suburban black folk who think they're better than other black folk, I heard some people say, oh, it's those people in the ghetto that voted for the liberals. No, that's not necessarily true. You're an idiot and you're racist and you're going to hell. It's suburban black folk who think that they're better than other black folk. They think liberalism, Trudeau is like, this white god who will, who can take care of niggas better than niggas can take care of themselves. That's how suburban black folk, that's why they like to look down on people, especially black people who don't vote liberal and stuff, because they think that we can't do anything without white liberals. So it's those suburban black folk in Markham and Oakville and Burlington and Pickering and Richmond Hill and Vaughan, those foo-foo jigaboos out there. And I've got a lot of comments from white folks saying, oh, I'm racist against white folk because I like to say things about white folk. Y'all are just the racist. You've heard me talk stuff about black folk and Arabs and Jew and Zionists and Indians all the time. But anytime I say something about white folk, y'all get offended. So y'all can go to hell. I say things about all races. Okay? If I say that, some cracker said something stupid, I'm going to say it. If I say some nigga, some foo-foo jigaboo did something stupid, I'm going to say it too. Don't think that because you have white skin, pink skin, that you're immune from any criticism. I'm going to tear you up just as much as I tear up anyone else. So you can either suck it up and live with it, or you can get the hell out of Arana Nation and go to hell and we'll fry jerk chicken over your dead frying body. But it's the suburban Uncle Toms. It is the rich minorities who are snobs and don't hire their own people when they open up a business. And it's racist white liberals who think that niggas, black folk, minorities can't do anything without a white liberal in power. Those are the small amount of people that put Justin the tacky-headed tar-faced Swiftfoot Mac Daddy Trudeau back in power. The rest of Canucks, the working class, the middle class, the native, immigrants who came to Canada, who are just humbly getting by, who voted for Doug Ford, who are down to earth, they didn't vote for Justin Tackett and Matt Daddy Trudeau. So there you have it. He lost the popular vote. The Conservatives won the popular vote. There's no rioting. It just proves that people on the right are genetically more superior and mentally. This is the Arana